Lexington Mayor Jim Gray announces a run at U.S. Senate, saying he can help fix what he called a broken Washington.
Governor Bevin will hold his State of the Commonwealth budget address tonight. We'll preview some of the issues he's expected to talk about.
A number of buildings and businesses in Pulaski County are cleaning up after their roofs collapsed because of the weight of the snow.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
We are tracking a breaking news alert out of Adair County. That's where officials say that one person is dead and 3 others are missing after a house exploded. This happened sometime this afternoon at a home on M. Coomer Road, about 5 miles outside of Columbia, off of Highway 206.
This photo was taken by the Adair Progress. Few details have been released at this time. The deputy coroner tells us one person is confirmed dead and 3 others are missing from the home. We're told only a portion of that home is still standing, and crews are still working to put that fire out. We have a crew heading to that scene, and we'll bring you more information as it becomes available to us.
The field is set now for Kentucky's U.S. Senate race. It's getting bigger. This morning, Lexington's Mayor Jim Gray made it official. He's filing to run as a Democrat in that Senate race.
If he wins the primary in May, he'll take on Republican Senator Rand Paul in the November election. WKYT Sean Moody was there as Gray talked about his decision. It's our top story at 5.
Mayor Jim Gray says his time in the construction business, as well as here in the mayor's office, have prepared him to be a United States senator. He says he believes he can fix what he called a Washington that's broken.
They spend a whole lot more time in Washington fighting than they do fixing things. And I want to change that.
In a phone interview this afternoon, Gray said Paul, who's running for re-election to a Senate seat and for president, isn't focusing enough on Kentucky.
He has a reputation for spending a lot of time in other places running for president. I think that we need a senator who's focused on Kentuckians.
Paul's campaign office sent out a statement this afternoon saying he works hard for Kentuckians with a 94% voting attendance record. Gray also accused Paul of putting Kentuckians at risk.
The senator has proposed massive cuts of over $160 billion to our military, and that affects bases right here in Kentucky, Fort Campbell, Fort Knox. That would affect our security right here at home.
Time reported back in March of 2015 that Paul had reversed that proposal and now supports an increase in defense spending. Gray said his first priority, if he won the race, would be jobs.
That would be working on our economy and making sure that good-paying jobs are available to more people in our state.
I asked Gray how running a Senate race might affect his duties here in Lexington as mayor. He said he has a great staff and said that he won't miss a beat. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Gray will face 6 other challengers in the Democratic primary in May. A full list of candidates can be found on WKYT.com.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin will unveil his 2-year state spending plan tonight. The governor is already calling for the state to generate more money to fix shortfalls in public retirement systems. But he says he has no plans to raise taxes to do that. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy has a preview.
Governor Matt Bevin ran on a campaign of cutting costs and fixing a pension mess. He's expected to address both of those issues this evening. The governor told the Associated Press he's going to fix the pension problem without raising taxes and without borrowing money.
Based on his campaign rhetoric, he said he would fix the problem. He would pay the bill. So I'm very anxious to see his approach.
Dr. Bob Wagoner is the executive director of the Kentucky Retired Teachers Association. He is hopeful Governor Bevin will make moves to fix the pension problem, and he knows it will take longer than 2 years.
So it'll be interesting to see how inventive he can be and solve the problem.
LexArts is so worried about budget cuts, the organization is holding an emergency meeting Wednesday.
The creative industries, nonprofit and for-profit arts, are a sector of employment somewhere between logistics and IT in size. It's really a very significant part of our state's economy, and to lose one of its primary drivers and one of its primary advocates would be disastrous.
Governor Bevin's speech begins at 7 o'clock tonight. In Frankfort, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
And the governor has not yet revealed what amount of funds each cabinet will receive in this two-year budget. We will know the specific amounts at 7 tonight.
A Lexington home has heavy damage after a fire started near the garage and spread into the home. Firefighters were called to the home on Majestic View Walk just before 1:30 this afternoon. The homeowner just came from the store when she pulled into her garage, opened the door, and saw smoke. Firefighters say a running dryer caused the fire. No one was injured. Roads in southern Kentucky are in much better shape today, but the cleanup from a lot of the damage continues.
That's right. In Pulaski County, 2 marinas were damaged, 2 stores have roof damage, and some storage buildings were damaged when the snow caused the roofs to collapse. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more.
Burnside Marina just behind me, one of the many on Lake Cumberland damaged by the weight of the snow. Here in Pulaski County, this was just one of several buildings that gave way when the weight of the snow became too much for them to handle. Family Dollar and Eubank remained closed Tuesday after the storm caused damage to its roof. Public Safety Director Tyra Robinson says both of their marinas, Lee's Ford and Burnside Marina, sustained damage in addition to several private docks. The weight of the snow caused most of the problems between Friday and Saturday. Crews were assessing the damage at the Family Dollar when they received another call of more damage at a similar business.
About an hour and a half later, the Eubank area dollar store had some collapse damage there as well. So we had a crazy day there on Saturday. And then also there's been several private residents with storage buildings and stuff like that we've had lost on.
And Robinson is telling me they're still trying to tabulate the price tag of this snowstorm. Not only are they dealing with damage to these buildings, but also damage to some of their snow removal equipment. He says some of that equipment actually went down right at the heart of the storm. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And no one was hurt when any of those structures fell. We're told the Family Dollar store was closed when its roof came down. Some early morning showers left behind colder temperatures as we head into the evening hours, and we can expect a bit of a chill in the air for next few days before a weekend warm-up. I'm helping you give the forecast, Chris Bailey. Do I get some extra money, a bonus there?
I like it. Here's the advance button on the clicker. That's all you got to do. Just keep hitting it, buddy. Those temperatures today are colder than what we had yesterday into the entire region. We're roughly 10 to 14 degrees colder than 24 hours ago across all of central and eastern Kentucky. 35 Lexington into Covington, 34 cold spots showing up London, Somerset, down to Monticello and Danville, and those are areas that still have more snow on the ground than your neighbors to the north. You had more snow to begin with. Throw the winds into the mix. 27 showing up right on top of the downtown Lexington area. Those are the numbers to dress for, and those numbers will continue to drop as we go through the rest of the evening. Cold northwesterly wind flow continues across all of central and eastern Kentucky. And look what's happening there with a little bit of moisture still hanging tough across parts of the region. Some of that, at least the back edge, has been trying to fire up in the form of some snowflakes, and that'll continue to work into parts of southeastern Kentucky as we go through the evening hours. A few flurries on the move right on into the day on Wednesday. That big warm-up is on tap for the weekend, and then some bigger changes will blow in behind that. It's a busy 7-day forecast. I think for the most of that forecast, guys, you will like, because we do get a big thaw to show up. That's in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. Coming back from a win over the weekend.
That's right. The Cats are hoping for another win as they take on Missouri tomorrow night. WKYT's Rob Bromley joins us with a preview of the game. They're playing well right now, Rob.
Well, they really are, Sam, and the Cats have just one game scheduled this season with Missouri. It is tomorrow night in Rupp Arena. Kentucky has come off the loss to Auburn with impressive wins over Arkansas and Vandy. Missouri, a struggling team at the bottom of the SEC. Kentucky has committed only 13 turnovers in its last 2 games.
And when you got guards like Isaiah and Tyler and Jamal out there handling the ball, turnovers haven't been much of a concern for us this year, because we're a hard team to press in that way and create turnovers. And really, when we get a little bit, we start pressing a little bit offensively is when we'll turn the ball over ourselves. But for the most part, we've been good handling the ball all year.
And it will be a late start tomorrow night with Missouri, 9 o'clock in Rupp Arena, and then the Kansas Jayhawks on Saturday out in Lawrence.
Thank you, Rob. UK and Missouri have played only 8 times, and the Cats have won every game. Presidential candidates on both sides of the ballot are barnstorming Iowa as we are just days away from the beginning of the presidential nominating process.
As Marley Hall explains, now is the time they're focusing their pitch to get out the vote.
With just 6 days to go before the Iowa caucuses, the two leading candidates are focusing on one group in particular, evangelical Christians.
As our friendship has grown, so has my admiration for Mr. Trump.
Jerry Falwell Jr., an evangelical preacher and head of Liberty University, announced he's endorsing Donald Trump. Falwell hinted at the pledge last week when Trump visited the school.
In my opinion, Donald Trump lives a life of loving and helping others, as Jesus taught in the Great Commandment.
Not to be outdone, Ted Cruz met with preachers in Iowa Monday, telling them he's the only one who can stop Trump.
Across this country, pastors coming together saying our values, the Judeo-Christian values that built America, are under assault. And we need a president who will defend the Constitution, defend our values.
Cruz has a 12-point lead among white evangelical Christians in Iowa, and he's in a virtual tie with Trump for the overall lead. On the Democratic side, Senator Bernie Sanders' populist message has helped him gain momentum in Iowa.
We will win here in Iowa if the voter turnout is high.
Meanwhile, Clinton says she's experienced and has managed to survive attacks from Republicans.
They throw all this stuff at me, and I'm still standing.
Clinton holds a narrow lead over Sanders in Iowa. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
Clinton is sending out her husband, President Bill Clinton, to campaign for her in Iowa beginning Thursday. The Navy says an initial inspection at a Navy medical center in San Diego found no sign of a gunman or a shooting. A spokesman says military police checked the building after a person reported hearing 3 shots in the basement earlier in the day. The base remained on lockdown as authorities went from room to room and led personnel out of the facility, but a lockdown has ended and instruction has resumed at 3 schools near that medical center.
Anxiety is growing in parts of Southern California as 3 dangerous men remain on the loose. The escapees have been missing since 5 a.m. Friday. The Orange County Sheriff says 16 hours passed before authorities even knew the trio had disappeared. Authorities are offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to their arrest.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Winter can be a tough season, especially with a fierce snowstorm we just saw. A lot of folks just want these dreary days to go away, but there are ways to fight off the winter blues. Holly Furfer explains.
Even if you love the cold and outdoor winter sports, you've got to admit this has been a tough season. Not only is it brisk outside, but shorter days and longer nights can bring on the blues. It's estimated at least 12 million Americans suffer from a type of depression called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Doctors say in severe cases, people with SAD become depressed. Many patients claim they just can't function. That's because the brain goes through a chemical imbalance due to a lack of sunlight, which can lead to a number of symptoms, such as fatigue, lack of energy, oversleeping, difficulty concentrating, and cravings for foods high in carbohydrates that can cause weight gain. There are ways SAD can be treated. Modify your diet and exercise more. There are specially designed light boxes that are used to treat those with SAD, and if the problem becomes serious, some doctors will recommend antidepressants or psychotherapy to help patients get through the dark days of winter. And be with family. Laughter and togetherness are great therapy for the winter blues. It's a perfect way to stay warm even if the temperatures outside are frigid. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.
This weekend's winter storm kept many of us indoors, and that meant that cable boxes were working overtime. At one point on Saturday, nearly 1.3 million Comcast customers were using Xfinity on demand to watch movies and TV shows at the same time. Officials with the cable provider say that's a record for simultaneous views. In total, on-demand viewing for Comcast, the biggest cable TV and internet provider in the U.S., was up 23% from a week earlier. Officials with Time Warner Cable say internet usage was up by 34% in New York City alone. Sprint is in the process of cutting 2,500 jobs, or 8% of its workforce. It's part of a plan to cut $2.5 billion from its budget and turn around its business. The company is closing call centers in Virginia, New Mexico, Tennessee, and Texas.